Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the One Weeb here, back with another episode of What If Naruto Was a Demigod, Part 4. So, I just want to thank you guys so much for everything. We hit 500 subscribers, by the way, and if you hadn't noticed, which I'm super excited about. I'm so glad that you guys are liking what I'm doing. I'm liking these videos. I was talking with some of y'all in the Discord a little while ago. If anyone else wants to hop in on Discord, I'm always in the Discord in general chat while this is premiering, or while Discord, like while these videos are coming out. So if you have any questions, I have like 30 minutes afterwards where I am working on stuff for that. And if you all want to ask me anything about YouTube, about how I'm doing, you guys just tell me stuff, then feel free, because I'm here for each and every one of you all, and I want you all to feel like I'm your friend, and that's, like, we're all chill. So if anyone wants to, like, hang out, I'm down. But anyway, let's get into what you came here for, and thank you guys again so much for getting to 500 subscribers. Let's go for 1,000 subscribers next. Yeah, anyway, the next part of this, for part 5, probably won't be coming out for a solid minute, because, unless, of course, this gets a whole ton of support, because these episodes take me a long time to write, especially because, like, I'm putting even more effort into making these as, like, in-depth, as well as the best videos that you guys will ever, like, can get on my channel, since this is what you guys are, this is, like, some of your guys' favorite What If series, and I want to keep that and make them the best that I can. So this episode is the last one that I have pre-scripted already, that is all ready. So part 5 I'm going to have to work on for, like, a day or two, but you can expect that to be coming out eventually as well. For now, I've already started What If Naruto Was from Krypton, so feel free to check that out. I've got some cool stuff going on there, as well as I'm working on some other videos, like my other videos I'm working on scripting so that they sound better and more to, like, the style that I'm going for now. But anyway, thank you so much, and let's get right into the episode. Naruto comes flying into view as he slams his leg at max power with a blitz of lightning coming out from behind, directly where Jiraiya's head was. Jiraiya dodges and uses an oil jutsu, causing oil to splurge towards Naruto. Naruto then, who has electricity still over his body, zaps himself and then gets mildly annoyed. He then rushes towards Jiraiya. They've been fighting for a solid hour now, and neither one has given up. Jiraiya is laughing at Naruto, and Naruto's veins begin to pop in his forehead as he can't just seem to hit this old man. He told himself that if this guy could defeat him, then he'd let him train him, and he's beginning to think that that was a mistake, as Jiraiya is dodging and weaving through all of Naruto's strikes. Then, Naruto comes up with a plan. He then realizes he hasn't shown Jiraiya any of his jutsu. If he can just get Jiraiya into a place where he thinks he's won, that's when he'll strike, as he knows that if an enemy is at its weakest, that's when it's the best opportunity to attack. Naruto then lets him himself get hit by Jiraiya. Jiraiya then thrusts an ion sphere at Naruto. As Naruto sees this attack coming, he looks at it and his eyes open wide, and he activates his eagle eye last minute, dodging the attack, as Jiraiya had thought he would dodge it. As the attack goes spiraling past him along with Jiraiya, Jiraiya's hand collapses into the tree, and the entire tree begins to shake as it is sucked into the attack and then bursts apart into bits. Naruto turns around and screams, "What was that jutsu?" Jiraiya tells him that it was the Ion Sphere, created by the 4th Hokage. Naruto then tells him they shouldn't use such strong attacks against the kid. Jiraiya then leaves himself open. Jiraiya puts his hand up and closes his eye and says he's just that much stronger than Naruto, he guesses. Naruto then takes his opportunity. With Body Flicker, he instantly teleports right next to Jiraiya and then says, "I got you, old man. You let your guard down, and that was your final mistake. Lightning Sphere!" At that point, he activates the lightning sphere, and then electricity charges around his body as he rises into the air, and the electrons push themselves into the ground and the surrounding area into a circle. Naruto then holds the Jiraiya as he slowly dies. Well, it seems to Naruto that he's dying from all the shaking and violence that the body of Jiraiya is going through. Jiraiya is spitting up blood and is telling him that he wins. Naruto then deactivates his thing and asks him if he had enough. Then Jiraiya disappears. Jiraiya poofs and Naruto realizes it was a shadow clone. He turns around and his eye, the one filled with his energy of the lightning release from the eagle eye, is then punched by Jiraiya as hard as Jiraiya can from his real self, realizing that Naruto actually could have hurt him. Jiraiya then punches Naruto, and Naruto goes flying down the side of the hill that they were standing above. Flowers in the grass begin to pull out as the dawn of spring arrives. Naruto then comes crashing down through them as they get crushed before they get to grow all the way. Naruto leaves a trail of dirt and holes in the hill as he is on the very bottom of it, laying flat on his face. He then tells Jiraiya he wins and that he'll let him train him, since he seems to be strong actually. Jiraiya then smiles and asks if he really just doubted the legendary Sannin Jiraiya. When Naruto hears the word Sannin, he asks what the Sannin are. Then Jiraiya explains the three of them. Himself, Jiraiya the Toad Sage of Mount Miyaboku, Tsunade of the Slug and the Healing Ninjutsu, and Orochimaru. At this point, Naruto's eyes open and he asks if he's an associate of that damn guy who hurt his friend Sasuke. Then, Jiraiya is curious and asks what happened. He then tells Jiraiya about what happened with Orochimaru and how he bit his friend Sasuke in the neck. He then explains his fight with Orochimaru and how he had used his weapon on him. Jiraiya is curious and then asks Naruto to see what he's talking about. Naruto then asked Jiraiya if he's sure and that he didn't want to use this on him since he seemed like a nice guy and he didn't want to kill him. Then, Naruto pulls the small golden bar out of his pocket. He begins to spin it, and as he spins it faster and faster, the bronze golden blade rises into its full form of the wickedly sharp scythe that his grandfather had apparently given to him. Naruto looks at Jiraiya and is expecting him to be impressed, and Jiraiya starts laughing. Jiraiya laughs and slaps himself silly, and then tells Naruto that that's funny. Naruto, who's confused, asks what he means, and then he tells him that he could be so much stronger if he tried using, I don't know, actual jutsu with his chakra instead of just swinging a big sharp object around at people. This pisses Naruto off more and his face goes red and he stomps his foot on the ground. A thunder crash is heard in the distance from the clouds. He tells Jiraiya and points to him that he's going to become the Hokage someday and he shouldn't disrespect him that way. Jiraiya stops laughing and smiling and asks what he means by that. He then tells Jiraiya about his dream of becoming the Hokage and how he's training this month so that way he can beat that damn upstart. He talks about Neji Hyuga and Gaara of the Sand. He explains him these two rivals of his for now, and how Neji disrespects hard work at any chance he has, how he looks at it and spits in it as a face of disgust, thinking that destiny is the only thing that binds someone to their fate. Naruto's hand tightens around the grip of his scythe as he says this. And then there's Gaara. He treats his younger brother Blaze horribly, and there's something else too. He seems to think that only killing people is the only way to live. He looks at Jiraiya and asks if there's anything he can teach him that would benefit Naruto and help him win against these two. Jiraiya then thinks about it and decides that there is one way. Jiraiya tells Naruto to come with him, and Naruto obliges. Naruto follows Jiraiya as they walk further into the mountains away from the Leaf Village. Then, Jiraiya tells Naruto that he's going to teach him something. He pulls out a scroll and says that this is the summoning jutsu for his toad summons. Naruto then is excited about actually learning a new jutsu that he hasn't heard about before, tries to touch the scroll. As Naruto's hand reaches towards the toad scroll, of which he's supposed to sign his handprint to claim, an electric shock strikes him in the scroll and pushes Naruto back. At that point, something falls out of the tree as a bird, a hawk to be precise, flies overhead from a mountain and drops a large blue scroll. As Jiraiya sees this, he grabs it out of the air, and then he recognizes it as Minato's old summoning scroll. He then is concerned and realizes that something must be going on strange. He hands the scroll to Naruto and says he thinks this is for him. Naruto opens the scroll and he sees one handprint on it. He then sees underneath it Minato Namikaze, and then the next few empty boxes have no one claiming this scroll. Naruto then asks Jiraiya if he can use this scroll, and he thinks that it's meant for him. Jiraiya nods and tells him that they'll helpfully fix it and let him be the summon for the Toad Sages as well someday. Naruto then causes the signing jutsu to create the contract and he slams his hand onto the scroll. As he does so, something strange happens. An electric charge begins to pulse through the entire scroll, and at that moment, something is coming. Naruto feels a ton of his chakra get drained out of him, and his eyes open wide as a summon begins to form. The smoke forming becomes ever so clearer and clearer until Naruto sees it, and Jiraiya and him hang their mouth open as they see a ginormous blue-scaled, dark-scaled dragon. The dragon roars in rage and electricity pulses across its body. He then turns down and sees Naruto, and he senses Naruto's immortal chakra and laughs, saying that this kid couldn't possibly be a god. Jiraiya is confused as well as Naruto, and they ask the summon what is his name. Me? Tell some puny mortal about my name? As if I'll tell you my name and even let me be your summon if you can stay on me without dying for one whole day. He then looks down at Naruto, and Naruto accepts the challenge. Naruto activates his eagle eye, causing his strength to increase, and he jumps into the air, using air and pushing himself so he's floating above. He lands on top of the dragon's head and then sits down, telling the dragon to continue on with what he's doing. Then, the dragon flies up into the sky, and Jiraiya looks up after the shining blue blitz that just roared into the air. Naruto is actually beginning to feel him lose his grip on the dragon's scales, as his chakra is he's very good at chakra control, but this dragon seems to have some strange ability of nullifying his chakra sticking ability. Naruto asks the dragon if he can use anything. The dragon says he will, and Naruto says he's sorry. He pulls his scythe out and stabs it into one of the dragon's scales. The dragon grunts and asks him if he's trying to hurt him. Then he tells him if he does that stuff again, then he's going to have to kick him off and not be his summon. Naruto apologizes and then puts his scythe away, telling him he was only trying to grab on. Then, the partially broken scale, which is still attached onto the dragon, Naruto uses a handhold and sticks his hand in the hole, holding himself there. For the next 24 hours, Naruto's life is a living hell. Naruto gets flapped back and forth, and electrical storms charging all over his body. Naruto's eyes are closed the entire time, and he's basically relying on his own strength to not die. After the stormy night, Naruto returns to the Leaf Village on top of the dragon's head as he flows down. Then, he lands, and he asks Naruto and tells him that due to him summoning him, he just thinks that it should be he who gives him the name that he deserves. Once he gets down, he then looks at the dragon and says that his name will be forever on Tempest. The dragon looks it down and laughs and tells him that that's a very fitting name for him. Naruto smiles and says that he's glad he likes it. The dragon then tells Naruto that from now on, if he needs it to ever summon him, he must only do this. He explains to Naruto to use the lightning release as well as the summoning jutsu, and it will summon him in a great bolt of lightning, and that he shouldn't do this too often, as summoning a creature like him can heavily drain his chakra. Naruto nods and tells him he understands, and then he continues his training with Jiraiya for the Chunin exams. Naruto, after 1 month, comes back to the Leaf Village after training in the mountains with his master Jiraiya. Naruto has mastered a new technique, and he's ready to show it. As Naruto walks confidently into the village, he then notices that he's actually gotten a little bit taller and stronger over the past month. He walks into the stadium, and it's his turn soon. Naruto walks into the stadium. As he walks through the great gate, the sunlight streaks through his hair and his eyes, causing them to glimmer like the snow. As Naruto climbs up the stadium, he sits next to his friends, the other Genin, and tells them that he's been training for this very hard, and tells them that he's going to win this whole thing and become a Chunin no matter what. This is only the first step for him to become the Hokage, after all. Naruto then watches the next fight. It comes to the fight between Shikamaru and Temari. Temari uses a wind style, and Shikamaru is using his shadow possession jutsu. Shikamaru tells Temari that using jutsu like that has one major flaw. He then gets her in the shadow possession jutsu and stops her in her tracks. He then walks up to her and then flicks her in the face, her doing the same to him. He then tells Temari that no matter what, even if he could win, it wouldn't be worth it. It would take too much energy. What a drag. He then deactivates the jutsu with the because he was just about to run out of all of his chakra, and Temari beats him with her fan, yelling that he's such an idiot and that he just did that in front of all these people. The Hokage laugh, as well as the third Hokage Hiruzen looks down and sees Naruto cheering and clapping for them. At that point, Gaara is there and Blaze is as well. Blaze is fighting Kabuto, as Kabuto hasn't been discovered yet from when the incident with Kakashi occurred with Sasuke. The next fight is Kabuto and Blaze. Blaze Realis. Naruto thinks in his head as he senses the immortal chakra again. This time he's certain. This kid is a son of someone like him. He's similar to him in some way. Blaze climbs down the side of the wall, and as he gets there, Kabuto feels a difference in the temperature. Blaze looks up and his eyes are even more crimson red than usual today. Heat begins to pulse off of his body, and all the sand in the arena and everywhere, all the dirt begins to become hot and muddy. Kabuto begins to sweat down his face as Blaze stares at him and tells him that he's going to defeat him in this battle and prove to Gaara that he is worth of his time. Then, Blaze rushes forward with full speed, and a trail of flames erupts behind him. Naruto's eyes open wide as he sees these golden red, hot red flames. He then pulls out of his pocket a small iron bar. He spins this just like Naruto does with his scythe, and immediately it begins to grow. Kabuto's eyes widen as he sees the dark silver turn to a mighty warhammer. Then, Blaziken, who's holding a warhammer about twice his size, slams the hammer into Kabuto's head, causing him to fall backward and start bleeding out of his skull. He holds his head together and starts using medical ninjutsu. He tells Blaze that he's going to kill him if he does another attack like that. Blaze holds the hammer back and tells him to try his best. He then brings up the heat even higher. Kabuto begins to sweat as their clothes begin to burn. Blaze's clothes himself doesn't begin to burn at all, and he feels fine, in fact, refreshed. He blitzes forward again, and then in his left hand, he pulses a small, tiny flame. He then says, "Jet fuel," as he pulses his hand forward and pushes it at full strength, causing a blast of flame to shoot out of his palm at Kabuto, frying him and roasting him. Kabuto's coughing now and decides he has to go all out against this kid if he wants to not die, let alone win. He then activates his medical ninjutsu and starts cutting at Blaze. Blaze can feel his internal organs are beginning to weaken as he gets cut each time by Kabuto's chakra medical ninjutsu. At this point, he knows he has to go all out as well. He uses all of the fire he has inside of him and then opens his mouth wide. Kabuto has no idea what's going on as he then breathes in deeply. Dragon's roar! He bursts all of the flame he has left that he can muster, and a burst of flame comes roaring out of him and pulsing at Kabuto. As Kabuto sees the flame bursting and roaring as oxygen goes into the energy, he's then engulfed by it and falls to the ground from heat stroke and as well as exhaustion. Blaze raises his hand and warhammer to the air and begins spinning it until it shrinks back to its small form and puts it back in its pocket. Naruto feels for the side of his pocket and feels his own scythe there, and he knows that something strange is going on now. Especially strange. It's Naruto's turn to fight next. As Naruto hops down to the arena, he looks upward, and his eyes make eye contact with his opponent, Neji Hyuga. Naruto's fist tightens, and he tells Neji that, no matter what, he's never going to forgive him for what he said. Hard work will always win over any natural talent someone has. Naruto's own chakra control had been absolute shit since he'd ever started. He knew that he would never become a good ninja, much alone the Hokage, if he had to continue like that. He worked on his chakra control every day at the academy, training harder and harder to become who he is today. He then looks at Neji and tells him he's going to beat that lesson into him. Neji and him walk forward, and Neji says tough words from a short guy. Then Naruto looks down at Neji and says, "Who are you calling short?" Then Neji gets pissed off and tells him that he shouldn't talk to a Hyuga clan member that way, that filthy brat, no parent, not good for nothing. He then, as he activates his Byakugan, he loses. Neji Hyuga coughs blood and spit, as he has no idea what's going on. Nothing. He just sees nothing. All he sees is a blue blitz. Nothing is there. All he can see is a flash, and he gets hit every time. At that point, Naruto's body flicker plus his lightning release together have gotten so strong that Neji Hyuga's Byakugan is unable to track him. In the stands, Hiruzen is amazed as he sees this blue flash, similar to their own Thunder Flash from long ago. At this point, Naruto tells him it's time to finish him off. Neji's on the ground panting, telling him that this doesn't prove anything, and that he was gifted all along, and that destiny had chosen this fate, and that he wouldn't let him win. Neji then uses his full 360-degree defense, 64 palm rotation, and hits Naruto one time. As Neji hits Naruto, his hand burns from the electricity, and Naruto says he's going to pay him for that. Then, Naruto teleports. Then, Neji Hyuga's eyes look up at the last moment as he realizes that it's over. Naruto then shouts in the loudest booming voice he can, pushing every ounce of chakra he can into this attack to prove that he is the superior fighter and will become the Hokage one day. He tells him, "Neji Hyuga, when I become the Hokage, I'll change the way of the Hyuga clan. Ion Sphere!" Naruto then pulls out the Ion Sphere, electrical style. The ion sphere has electricity bulging around it, and he condenses the chakra even further, creating the black hole effect of what Jiraiya had shown him before. Jiraiya pushes this into Neji, and Neji's spine and ribs, as well as internal organs, begin to fold into on themselves, crushing as he uses all of his chakra to push back against this force. Naruto then deactivates the ion sphere as fast as he started, so he doesn't kill him. Then Neji bursts out and is thrown across the arena as he spins and hits the dirt and then eventually crashes into the wall, causing a crack to form along the wall. Neji's knocked out instantly and medical teams are called down. Naruto stands there, electricity pulsing along his left eye with the eagle eye activated, as well as electricity pulsing along the rest of his entire body. Naruto then looks up to the stands and holds a thumbs up towards where he can see the third Hokage. He smiles and tells him that he is going to become the Hokage one day after all, so he might as well not lose this one. If you guys want to see part 5 for What If Naruto Was a Demigod, make sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe below what you guys think. I've been loving the reception you guys have been doing. Continue to keep going, showing me that support, and more of these will definitely come out. I love all of you guys, and if you want to talk, I'll be in the Discord, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.
It's black and white.